Hey, it's been a while since I did an update video on this. Let me just check. The last update I did to this was the last video I did was 10 months ago. And I just looked it up and I've been working on this game for more than a year. And that's a lie to say that I've been working on this game because for the majority of development I've done nothing. There was like a 5 month period where all I did was play Satisfactory, and not work on the game. Uh, and I worked on a marble game for a while, and then I got frustrated with that because I got frustrated with this game because and that's why I stopped working on it. But I figured out what that problem was. It was due to animation sampling, and so the character would get desynced. And it was extremely frustrating to come home and like the hour a day I'd get to work on it, and um, I was like making no progress, and like for like a week straight, it was like I got so frustrated with this, and then I got just distracted with a factory game. But let's talk about my game here. It's got some updates. So one, you'll notice that the UI is gone. Well, it's not gone because if you press R, the revolver comes out and the UI comes back. So the revolver has had some updates to it. So if you press X, it fires the revolver and then he does like a cavalry cock, which is you. I'm making the motions that you can't see, which is he pulls it up and pulls the thing back, the lever back, and fires it. There's also now a walk button, so that decreases your speed. He also kind of like turtles out of his serape there. I'm not really sure what causes that. Um, Oops, and look, and there's another animation desync. But that's fine. I think I already knew about that one. But if you're walking, you might be able to see it through YouTube's encoding that he has his hand on the top of the revolver, and now there is no cooldown because normally there's a cooldown in like me hammering the button. But he'll fan the revolver. Um, and I need to do more on that. This game needs a lot of work. There's always things to work on with this game. Um, so yeah. So let's talk about Parallax. Parallax is broken for a long time, probably like the entirety of its implementation. Um, and then just for some reason, moving one equation down one line fixed it. It doesn't change any of the math. It just fixed it, and it's infuriating that something that stupid fixed it. But it did. Um, you could probably see like the layering problems with there. This isn't final. Well, probably nothing is final. Um, and so yeah, the idea with that is that there's two parallax levels layers, so you can see like the background layer with this with these smaller type trees, and then there is the horizon level. And so if like we have a conveniently a mountain right here, the higher you go up, the horizon will raise with you as you jump, and if you get high enough, you can just clear that horizon level and it's just clouds. So I guess let's go ahead and proceed. Um, there's a house right here, but there's nothing in it. You can't enter it at the moment, so let's just walk past it and proceed on to the next level. Oops. So yeah, that's a new thing, is that it's no longer Mario 2 based, or Mario 3 based, I'm sorry, where there was like a level screen. It's just you can walk between each level. And to hide any kind of like the player, like, so if we go back, the level transition is just off screen. So if he were to say like, um, well, you can't see it there, but it's a basically an 8x8 box, and he can hit it and be in the air. So the level transition is to hide that. Well, I guess since it doesn't matter, but it's more cohesive in that because you can like go from like one plane to like the next plane, and it's just like, Oh, it looks the same. So that's an easy wipe to tell that you have changed locations. I might have shown this layer area off earlier. I know I definitely did on Twitter. I can't remember what I was in my last video. Um, but there's a crow right there. I need to put more crows in the game. I need to put more birds and wildlife. There's mud in the game, so I mean that is the title of the game. There should be mud in the game. So if you walk on the mud, it slows you down, and it puts a layer on your boots. I think it's still messed up if you if you kneel down, it gets desynced. But walking should fix that. And more mud. They're cows. Yeah, just cows. I mean, you can shoot them. You can. Oh, poor little cow. That's why you shouldn't shoot your cows. But I put the option in anyway. And now to move on to the final level, final part of my little demo here, which is the town, area. Which the problem with having a town and having like 12 NPCs that you want to interact with is that I have to not only make 12 NPCs, I have to make dialogue for all 12 NPCs. So that's going to take up some time. But this is an example of an inner building. An example of a locked building is that you go up to this door and it shakes. It's probably a lot more visible on YouTube with this bigger door, and how it shakes. And so if we go into here, there's now inside with its own hitbox. It doesn't actually delete anything. It just layers a new layer on top of all the existing stuff. So if we go into here, we're colliding with the hitbox of the little ramp right there. And so that's something I need to work on. I think you can still climb the ladder. So that's something I need to fix. There's also ladders. I think a problem I noticed is that like he would just stand next to ladders and not climb up them. But that was because I think there's a listener applied to the game objects that needs to be always awake instead of start awake, and that's what fixed that. So I can climb up to ladders. I also need a glider climbing animation because he kind of just hovers up it. I've kind of like combined, well, like the character here is like a combination of the walking sprites of like Mario and Mega Man. If you look at his feet move pretty much exactly like Mega Man. I think Mega Man has like a pretty wide gait, but that's what I based it on. I used Mega Man's walking as a reference, so he has a very snappy 2-frame animation or 4-frame animation of him walking. And I guess the final feature, second to final feature, if we go back to level transition, it puts us at the end of level, and that's handled by the save feature. And so I'm not sure how you would do it otherwise, how you would know between level transitions, but that's a thing. That's just a thing that took me a while to implement, because I had to relearn how I did saves, and what stuff it was saved into. And I guess the last thing is dialogue. So I have a little girl right here who will ask you questions. She'll ask you so you can see your gun. If you say, and she'll have. So not only do I have dialogue, I have branching dialogue. So if I say, yes, I have a gun. Can I see it? And then no. And it also can repeat dialogue. And she'll just infinitely ask you if she can see your gun. And if you say yes, you show her your gun. She says, wow. And then this is her final dialogue. And it will just repeat indefinitely. And once you have the final dialogue, you can walk away. Another thing, if I go over to Henry right here, if you walk away, it will close the dialogue box, but it won't restart the dialogue, so we'll just keep talking from where he left off. That's probably something I need to fix. It should probably like if you walk away, it sets the sentence counter back to 0. But this isn't a I think about what I need to implement to fix my game video. Um, and I might as well just show them off. Buffalo sauce. I like buffalo sauce, but Henry never too much cared for it. And that dog really wants a double stack, and he'll just repeat the same dialogue. I'm also like experimenting with layers, so like obviously you should have like, so the thing I've been implementing is that like the foreground layers are lighter and the background layers are darker. But I'm trying, but since I have these background buildings, it's kind of like, what do I do with that? Which should I pick? That's the thing I need to think about. I have a lot of stuff I need to think about, and this is so far the end. Oh yeah, I disabled it, so there's no teleport to the next area. You just walk to the world border, and you can't go any farther. So that is the accumulation of, and you can walk on the buildings, and there's foreground stuff too, whatever. And that's the accumulation of everything that I have done so far since I've gotten back into working in this. I guess like the month that I spent working on this. And by month, I mean pretty much just on Saturdays, except for this week, which I got also Sunday to work on it. I finally have a clear idea of what I'm going to do with this game, and I kind of have like the whole story plotted out. Whether I'll actually be able to implement that is another thing. So let's go from there. I have my design document. I've kind of been like bouncing around between things I should develop, what I should do next. Because right now there's no, like even in the demo, or what I have right now, there's no monsters. I've messed around with some stuff with some monsters, but there's probably not going to be like too many regular enemies in the game. Just because that's how I want to do it. Like I can easily, like in the previous 2 levels, I could easily put like bats and stuff and like coyotes and stuff, or just like regular Goomba type monsters. But I don't want Goombas in my game. I want each monster to be memorable. I want each encounter to be notable and memorable, not just viewer gunning down hordes of Goombas or stomping on Goombas. And so yeah, I guess that is about it. I'm gonna keep working on my game. There's a lot of stuff even in this what I made that to me all this looks hideous to me and unfinished. And there's a lot of seams and everything that you probably can't see, but I definitely see. That I just find horrifying. And so everything needs a lot of work. I need to work on a lot of stuff. And so yeah, I'll keep working on it. The game's probably going to have 3 major boss battles you're gonna fight. Well, 3, and then like the final boss, and then the other final boss. I don't know. Depending on your player choices, there's 3 different final bosses you can fight. Kind of like that other game. I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling at this point. So I guess that is about it for development of the game. Yeah. I can keep talking, but I guess that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the video before I talk anything else. Okay, bye.